I'm super stoked to show you guys the latest project on the channel. This is the Honda 5518 little homestead tractor thing. I'll get into the specifications in a minute, but I saw this thing at an auction and just had to have it. I actually got it. I actually got it on accident, but I'm glad that I was able to take it home. It's not in it's not in terrible condition, but it definitely needs some love. Um, so as far as the specifications go, it's it's got an 18 horsepower overhead can inline twin Honda engine. I believe this entire tractor is from like 1995 era. So considering that, it was definitely ahead of its time. Um, so we have really the only thing I've done is played around with the ignition system. We'll get into that later. And I just put a new battery in there. I need to change all the fluids, all the filters. That's on the way. For now, it moves and rides. I'm not going to be too harsh on it until I get those filters. But it's a four-wheel drive, four-wheel steering. It's got power steering, of course. It's got a 12 speed. It's got a 6-speed transmission with high and low. It's got a front and rear PTO, which makes it really nice. Of course, this transmission is not a hydrostatic. It's a geared transmission, so you have your clutch right there. The front PTO. Your front PTO is that pulley right there. You take it off and you slide your PTO shaft in there. This right here is the hydraulic system for the front that picks up and lowers down whatever attachment you have on the front there. What's also really cool is this thing's not only four-wheel drive, but every single wheel has a brake on it. Has a drum brake, which is pretty dang cool. And as you can see there, the rear wheels kind of turn in, which is pretty sweet. And then you have your rear PTO right there. Now, here's the switch that makes it two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive. You also have your differential locker. I believe that's only for the rear differential though. And of course you have your brake and your parking brake. And of course you also have your whatever you call this to set the throttle. And then you have the throttle pedal right here. I don't know. I don't know much about this thing. It has too many functions. I've only had this thing for a day and a half. So as far as what I needed to do to get it to run, I put new spark plugs in it, and it still didn't have any spark. It had the fuel pump, electric fuel pump, works really well. I needed to clean the carburetor, but it still didn't have any spark. I tested the coil and I thought it was working. Turns out it wasn't, but that led me to believe that it was this CDI right here. Now I looked up on the forums and everybody said that the CDI was like the bane of this tractor's existence, so I went ahead and bought it. I found one for $30 on Amazon, 1-day shipping, so I bought it, plugged it in there. And when I found that this tractor still did not run, I went ahead and tested the coil again. The coil actually is good, but the wires themselves were all dry rotted and nasty. So I went ahead, pulled these off of 2 junk engines I had, and put them on there, and they're fine, but they're slightly too short. So the coil is kind of dangling there until tomorrow. I should get new longer wires. So with that being said, this thing actually runs pretty dang good. Now I'm still waiting on the fluids and everything to change the oil, transmission fluid, and everything of the sort. So I'm not going to be driving this thing too crazy, but it does start really well. So, with that being said, I'm going to do a little revamping, give this thing a little love, and then I'll give you guys a few updates. Of course, this is not going to be like my main project on the channel. I'm still working on the Honda Odyssey. That thing's coming together very slowly, but that's definitely my main priority. I just bought this thing because I needed to have it. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I do this stuff mainly for me, but I mean, I also enjoy sharing it with you guys. So thank you again. Have a great night.